itself from a first half fumble. Snap is high. This ball knuckles. Bounding down. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He's running the
You're
wrong
going the wrong way. Holy moly. How often do you see that?
How often do you see that? Townsend should not have tackled him and let him go into the end zone. It would have been a safety.
It appeared to have just grazed Derek Joseph, the return man, making it a live ball.
Right.
Linebacker Andre Parker then gets confused. There, it hits Joseph. It's a fumble. It's a free ball. Andre Parker has it, and then he's wrong way Parker for 58 yards the wrong way.
Joseph's yelling at Peter, which is what punt returners yell in order to get everyone away from the ball, and then the ball hits him. And then Andre Parker, the sophomore linebacker for Kent State, runs 58 yards.
Hey everybody, it's just a few days before Christmas, and you're probably wondering what in the world you just looked at. Well, that was a video from a football game a couple years back where everything that could go wrong went wrong for both teams. If you're familiar with football, you understand what just happened there. If you're not super familiar with football, it might be a little bit confusing, but let me try to make it a little more simple. The darker colored team was punting the ball to the lighter colored team. When the darker colored team punts the ball, the lighter colored team catches the ball and they run straight ahead, and the darker colored team should stop them from running straight ahead towards the other end zone. However, if somebody on the lighter colored team drops the ball or the ball touches them, somebody on the darker colored team can pick that ball up, and they should continue running in the direction that they started off running and carry that ball into the end zone, and they score a touchdown. 6 points, kick the extra point, you get 7 points. That's a big deal. Unfortunately, what happened is the ball glanced off the punt returner's shoulder. That was the guy in the lighter colored uniform. And number 10 from the darker colored team, he picked the ball up, but instead of running 5 yards ahead in the direction he was already going, and you can see that here in the video, he picked the ball up and started running the opposite direction. So he forgot what he was doing and got a little confused in the moment. But what really makes this video comical and painful at the same time is that if the lighter colored team had let him keep going the wrong way and run into the end zone, he would have scored 2 points for the other team, and the other team would have got the ball back. But the other team tackled him. So on both sides, both teams and those people involved in that play forgot what they were trying to do. And that brings us to lesson number 4 in 5 habits that kill team unity, and that is lack of a shared purpose. So habit number 1 was poor communication. Habit number 2 was gossip. Habit number 3 was unresolved conflict. And before I go any further, I just want to point out an outstanding example of resolving conflict quickly that I saw in one of our restaurants a few weeks back. It was a Monday. I walked into Port Orange about 10 minutes to 1. I was getting ready for our Monday afternoon meeting. And when I walked into the kitchen, Teresa goes, "Hey, Matt, can you take my spot for just a few minutes at 1 o'clock? And I said, sure. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I was like, okay, no problem. And so 1 o'clock came around. I took Teresa's spot running for drive-through for about 5 or 6 minutes. She went to the back with one of our new hires who was working in the present window. And when they came back up, I said, everything okay? And Teresa goes, yeah. We were just there was just a few issues, and I needed to go over with our new hire here to make sure that she understood what she needed to be doing. She goes, everything's cool now. It's all taken care of. Okay, great. That was a perfect example of a situation that could have easily been left unaddressed. Could have continued giving poor service to our customers and that crew person could have continued doing things that led to massive frustration and irritation for our managers. But Tyrese stepped in, said, look, we're going to stop this real quick. I'll deal with it. She dealt with it off the floor professionally. And when she came back, everything's cool. Everything's cool. All done. Let's go back to work. Just a perfect example of resolving conflict before it got any worse. Also a great example of not going to other people with gossip and undermining that new hire. So just all around, just a perfect example. But it was also the kind of thing that if you weren't looking for that, it could go totally missed in its magnitude. It seems so small in the restaurant to do something like that, but it's huge when done consistently and correctly in all three of our restaurants. So great job, Tyrese. Thank you so much. And for all of you who do those kinds of things day in and day out, even though it didn't get recognized in this video, thank you so much. But lesson number 4, lack of a shared purpose. If you've ever been on a team, like a sports team, you have probably had someone on that team that you did not feel was a team player. I've been on those teams, and it's incredibly frustrating when the team suffers, but you have an individual who could care less because they have their own agenda. When we have our own agenda, we personally, if I was to go into the restaurant each day and I had my own specific agenda, and that agenda only centered around me and what I wanted, not only would I severely limit my success or my potential or effectiveness, but I would be holding every single one of you back. When any one of our team members comes into the restaurant and they're just on their own program, they got their own agenda, not only do they limit their effectiveness severely, but they hold every one of us back. And that's what happens when we don't know what our purpose is and we don't share that purpose as a team. So what is our purpose at Fair Havens Foods? Well, simply put, it's to make lives better through uncommon service. We serve our customers. We know that. That's obvious. And we serve a lot of them every single day. What we do is not overly profound, but when we do it well and we do it at a high level, we can just be a small bright spot that makes that person's life a little bit better for that day. That's ultimately why they come for us. They're not coming to us to change their lives. They're coming to us so that their life could be a little bit better. The same is true for the people who work within Fair Havens Foods, our team members. But I would say it's probably even more impactful for them. When we treat them well, when we train them, when we develop them, when we help connect them to their role in serving our customers well, that can be hugely beneficial for each of our team members. So we've got to think about how we serve others. So that eliminates from that equation coming in with our own selfish agendas. What do selfish agendas look like? Well, it could be repeatedly coming in late, not following policies or procedures that we know we should follow, just kind of doing things our own way. It could be talking down to others, looking down on others, undermining others, ultimately working against others when they're there to accomplish our purpose. It looks a lot like that play that I just showed you in the clip here of everybody forgetting what they're supposed to do and doing the exact opposite. It just completely works against everything. And we have worked far too hard, and each of you have put far too much into this business, trying to do things the right way, to start working against each other and having our own selfish agendas. And that's a challenge. That's something each of us have to personally be mindful of. And personally, we have to make the decision sometimes to put our agenda aside, say, what is the team's agenda here? What do we need to accomplish? And what is my role in helping the team accomplish that? So how do we not undermine each other, but how do we share that purpose with each other? Well, just go back and watch the previous 3 lessons. Communicate well, communicate respectfully, communicate the right information at the right time in the right way. Don't gossip. Man, gossip is just, it's bad news. We all do it, but we should all stop it as quickly as possible, and we all need to be mindful of it. And then leaving conflict unresolved. When there are issues with other people, if it's left unresolved, man, that is unity repellent to the max. And then that brings us again to the point of today's video. We share the same purpose. Let's remember that. Remember who's on your team. Don't undermine your team members. Don't tear down your team members. If you've got a team member who's not doing what they should do, you have every right and permission to pull them aside and say, hey, remember what our purpose is. Please stop doing that thing that's undermining what we're all trying to do. And then help that person see the bigger picture and what we're trying to accomplish. Nothing limits high achievement like small thinking. And when we are selfishly focused, when I am selfishly focused on my own agenda, that's small thinking. We can accomplish so much more together when we're aligned on the same purpose than any one of us could ever hope to accomplish on our own. So, today's lesson, make sure you and your team understand what the purpose is. As a member of a team, do some self-reflecting each day and ask yourself if you gave your all to the team and the purpose of the team, or if maybe you were selfishly serving your own agenda. And to build off the previous lessons, if there's some unresolved conflict going on, if you know there are some issues that are really keeping you and another team member from being aligned, do the right thing and get it resolved. And if you need help with that, that would be my number one priority, is helping you and somebody else work through those things. So please let me know. As we wrap up this year, it's important to look back and learn, but it's also important to say, you know, there was a lot of stuff that didn't go as it should. Let's leave that in 2018 and let's make 2019 way better. And we can do that when we're all aligned on the same purpose. So thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great time at the Christmas dinner a few nights ago. It was one of our more lively dinners, especially the gift exchange, which I thought was a lot of fun. And so thank you for that. And thank you again, just thank you for being part of our team and part of our family. We really appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you. And I'm just grateful for every single one of you, personally, and the relationships that we've built, but also what you do for our company each and every day. Thank you.